Almost as soon as the election was over, and even before really, there was talk about what bills would be brought before lawmakers in the next legislative session. But there's also talk about what issues some would like to bring before Idahoans. And one of those issues would be abortion rights. It was a central issue to the campaign of Terry Pickens-Manweiler as she ran against Scott Bedke for the position of Idaho's lieutenant governor. And while Pickens-Manweiler, as the Democratic candidate, lost on election night, that doesn't mean she is done with her quest. Her focus now, she says, will be solely centered on abortion access and Idaho's laws surrounding abortion. She and others have a big idea. Why not let Idahoans decide one of the most divisive issues of our time? Here's Joe Paris.
Idaho Republicans dominated statewide election races for the top positions in the state. It leaves Democratic candidates wondering what's next for them. Terry Pickens-Manweiler, who ran against Republican Scott Bedke in the lieutenant governor's race, says despite a disappointing election night for her, she's just getting started.
I am disappointed in how the election turned out, not just for my race, but statewide across the board. We seem to be going in the wrong direction in Idaho, when nationwide we seem to be going in the right direction. So it is a one step forward, two steps back kind of a feeling in Idaho, but that's okay because that just gives me more energy to commit to the promises that I made during the campaign trail that I fully intend to continue with going forward.
Part of that journey forward, learning from Idahoans that she heard from during her campaign.
I learned that people really want their voices to be heard, and I'm happy to do that. So I'm not going anywhere.
And there's one topic that we seem to hear louder voices than on any other topic: abortion rights in Idaho.
Yes.
And that was something that was central to your campaign.
It has been central to my campaign. It was from day one. And a lot of Democrats in Idaho, a lot of people in Idaho have a hard time saying the word in public, saying that this is a big policy platform for them. I've never had that problem. Having been on the board of Planned Parenthood for the past 6 years and really focusing on this particular issue in my campaign, it gave everyone else kind of a pass to be there too. We've spent too many years in Idaho skirting around the issue, and now we have absolutely no rights in Idaho as women and pregnant people. And, frankly, that's a horrible place to be.
Pickens-Manweiler said during her campaign that if elected, she would work with the legislature on the abortion and reproductive health conversation. If she wasn't elected, which ended up being the case, she said that she planned on another avenue into the conversation: the citizen initiative process.
One of the great things about having said that out loud on television in front of all of Idahoans is there were a group of people that were already moving in this direction, that already knew the writing on the wall was the only way we're going to restore reproductive health care in Idaho is a ballot initiative. So people were already working on this, and it was really refreshing to have those people contact me and say, hey, we just heard what you want to do. We're going that direction too. So there is a coalition of people in this state that their sole goal is to make sure that we get a ballot initiative on the 2024 ballot that puts it to the people, whether or not they want to have any restrictions on abortion care in this state.
What type of language do you envision in the initiative?
So this is my opinion. This is personal for me. As an attorney, and having talked with people all across this state, there are 3 statutes right now on the books in Idaho that criminalize abortion care. All 3 need to be repealed in their entirety. And whether or not there is some ability to craft language to create some restrictions, well, we're going to leave that to the doctors. Because I'll tell you what, the doctors are the ones that are in the best position to determine viability. They're in the best position to determine the health and the life of the mother, and they're in the best position to determine impacts on a fetus if it's going to maybe survive minutes outside of the womb and then suffer a very painful death.
Pickens-Manweiler says the effort is in the early stages, but this is a serious roadmap they're on, and they're ready to follow it. The unnamed coalition working on the project plans to work with medical experts as well to develop ideas on the debate over abortion timelines and maybe some other specific language that could be in the initiative. For Pickens-Manweiler, this work is also rooted in something more personal.
I made a promise to my daughter when the Dobbs decision was leaked back in March that I would do everything I could to ensure that she had reproductive freedom in this state. She's away at college. I got 4 years to get it done. So this is the only way we're going to get it done in Idaho is a ballot initiative.
So it's going to be an uphill battle. Terry Pickens Manweiler says she knows that there's going to be a lot of money required and that this is going to be a major campaign. But there is one part of the process she says is encouraging, and that is the initiative process in the sense that Reclaim Idaho has run very successful campaigns in recent years. Brian, though, on the other side of this conversation, though, if you talk to Idahoans, they'll tell you that this is the voice of the people, the laws as the way they are, in the sense that it's Idahoans that elected the legislature, and the legislature, this is what they passed.
Representative government, right.
Correct. So, we know America, it's not a true democracy. Everyone doesn't vote on every single issue in the sense that it is a democratic republic. So that's the converse side to this, is that there are Idahoans that say, we have our voice being heard right now. It's at the legislature. But it would be interesting to see, and we might find out, a specific vote on what Idahoans would say.
So in order to gather all those signatures, worth noting, Pew Research says 61% of Americans believe access to abortion should be legal across the country. Whether that translates to Idaho and whether that would translate to enough signatures, I guess time will tell.
We can find out in 2024.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. We'll be right back.